Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Cancer energy. I'm going to use a Psychic Tarot Oracle deck to get an overarching theme. And then we'll get out the tarot and the clarifiers to fill out the story. Patience, emotional withdrawal. And the reason is because of spiritual strength. There might be someone that you are being patient with who is emotionally withdrawn at this time. Okay, let's go see what the tarot story is with it. Now, there's like 7 billion people in the world and only 12 zodiac signs, and everyone has access to all the zodiac sign energies to use if they choose in a positive manner or a negative manner. So we're going to try to see what shows up in the story and see who might be using it. These energies are available to people, but they can choose to use it in a positive, loving, hopeful manner, or they can choose to go about using these energies in a selfish manner due to fear, or pride, or ego. I don't know. We'll find out. And so one of them might relate to something that is relevant in your life, and the other aspect might not relate to your life at all, or you'll have to try to fit yourself in the story. And you could be dealing with a Cancer sun sign, and they could be the one in the shadowy kind of Cancer energy, and you're the one in the positive energy, or vice versa. Oh, so the reason for the reading is 10 of Cups, happy home and family. That is Cancer energy. Okay, it looks like those of you in positive Cancer energy are kind of like the happy family energy, and you've been trying to probably be patient with someone who maybe was in shadowy Cancer energy, and they were maybe juggling you and someone else, and they were maybe creating an illusion that they were waiting for their dreams to come into reality to make a final decision, but they maybe in fact had actually given up or rejected moving forward on that path. Maybe because they're not willing to speak their inner truth. And so let's see what you guys might be doing. You are making an offer to the future to be a student of life in the Page of Pentacles, willing to, be hopeful and add to your foundation, willing to start fresh, be a student of life, to have equal give and take within yourself and in your relationships, to be in the energy of love, to tap again into your Sagittarius energy, which is similar to the Patience card that came out in the overall energy, which is fire sign energy, which is about being creative and inspired and inquisitive and higher learning, educating yourself about different ways to perceive the world and life and philosophies, listening to your intuition and Cancer Pisces energy, to be able to walk away from those old ways of thinking, believing, perceiving that are never going to bring you emotional wish fulfillment. You've already invested 8 cups and you kind of know it's not going to move forward in the way you'd like. And so it could also be that you emotionally invested in certain friendships or love relationships or work relationships, but whatever it is, you're walking away from old ways of being that won't bring you emotional wish fulfillment. And you want to work together from an emotional foundation to deal with the regrets of the past, so that you can take stable, abundant action forward in your life, willing to step out of your comfort zone to, move into unknown territory. Okay, let's go fill out the story here. Tell us about this Two of Pentacles person. If you were hoping to, being patient here, hoping to manifest your dreams into reality, you might have made a judgment that you were going to give up. There might have been somebody, a child or someone who is unwilling to stand in their inner truth, could be immature, that you had been hoping to have a new beginning with, or you would have offered them resources if they maybe would have been willing to work together with you. And maybe you're giving up. It's like, I made a final decision that I have been patient enough and this person isn't willing to step forward, so you're going to move forward and be happy. For other people, if you before maybe in yourself, or if this is someone else that maybe before had been kind of offering their resources to, I don't know, being immature, not willing to give up their childhood beliefs or way of perceiving the world, or wanting to try to keep everything the same as what it was like when they were young because they have fear and insecurity about moving forward and separating themselves from that old foundation, you know, those people could have decided to stop doing that because they realize, kind of like trying to relive their childhood, or I don't know, something like that. You would know, I guess, if that resonates with you, that those people have found their balance, have gotten to a point where they believe that they can manifest their dreams, and they've made a decision to quit offering their resources to either that aspect of themselves, or again, like I said, maybe like if it was you, that to someone outside themselves who either refuses to speak their truth, have hope, faith, and belief, or it's just, at some time you just got to admit that this person has a lot of growing and maturing to do. So let's go see what the Two of Pentacles is about. I don't want to take that. That's too many. Tell us about the Two of Pentacles. Okay. Someone was deceptive and manipulative, maybe even deceiving themselves. It could just be that. It could have been that they're deceptive and manipulative, but they maybe weren't ready to take creative, inspired action to move forward in their life. Because they're kind of trapped in a mental prison about their fears and insecurities. The voices in their head of, oh, you can't do that. What would people say? Blah, blah. Things like that. Tell us about the Magician. And we've all been there. So, the easiest way to try to understand why someone doesn't want to move forward is just remember you in your past when you weren't willing to move forward. You just have to determine how deep into shadow did the other person get, how deceptive and manipulative were they, to decide that that was so kind of unloving and disrespectful. Nobody's ever treated me that way before, that this is non-retrievable in a way. So, that person, maybe instead of using, taking the lessons that they were meant to learn in this phase of their life to accept the lessons they were supposed to learn, to add to their foundation that they could build their future stability upon, they maybe decided to kind of take impulsive, non-committal action towards repeating lessons of the past. And they've decided, that's where they're at right now. And they kind of need to repeat lessons of the past in order to try to balance out their emotions. And they might have kind of become emotionally detached and been a little emotionally cold, kind of coming more from their mind and their heart. I do view the King of Swords as Libra energy, so in their way of seeing the world and where they're at right now, it really is. Even though they might have done it deceptively, it's too bad when people do things deceptively, but um, it is really kind of how they view it as just and fair, and it maybe really is. Or if you're not ready to move forward, you're not ready to move forward. And so they're going to go try to balance out their emotions and learn the lessons they need to learn by repeating past patterns of the past. And we know some people repeat past patterns of the past all their life and they never move forward. And they, of course, think it's just and fair. We all do, kind of, pretty much what we think is just and fair based on how we perceive the world and reality at the moment. So tell us about the Three of Wands. They think their dreams are going to come into reality by having an energy of wanting to win at all costs. Um, they could be really defensive of moving forward because there's things hid. The Pisces moon card talks about things being hidden beneath the surface of their emotions that they don't want to look at, they don't want to reveal, they don't want light shed upon. But it can also be they're not ready to move forward because there's things hidden like in their subconscious that um just haven't bubbled up to the surface yet. They're not ready for it to bubble to the surface. The moon card is a universe card, so it's kind of like, over here, they're going to the past based on whatever reason they're doing it. Little do they know the universe is going to be there and try to balance out their emotions so they can move forward. And this person might have an energy of winning at all costs. There is things they probably don't want to leave their comfort zone and move forward. There might be things hidden that they don't want to have come to the surface, but the universe kind of knows that they're just not ready to deal with those things. So, you know, it's kind of like the universe at play here too. And they could have a lot of stress and anxiety. So that could be part of the things that are hidden beneath the surface. So they're fearful of moving forward. They're in the Five of Swords. A person wouldn't be so defensive. The win at all costs attitude is kind of like, I'm going to beat you before you beat me. And I'm afraid of moving forward because I might get emotionally hurt. It's somebody really operating from some fear and afraid of being hurt if they move forward. They have issues from their past they need to deal with. And if they're never willing to deal with those things, they'll never move forward to, moving on to the next level of what their life could be. Okay, tell us about the Judgment card. That they might decide that they're going to take action to communicate and have a new emotional beginning with a soulmate relationship. So they were juggling, creating the illusion they were waiting for their dreams to come into reality. So we'll continue with the people in shadowy energy. At this point, if people did give a lot of thought to what was hidden beneath the surface, they could make a decision at this point to align with love. But we'll continue on with the people who are in shadowy energy. What is this Ace of Pentacles reverse? I guess it kind of came out like this. The reason the Ace of Pentacles is in reverse is because of somebody's belief system. The Hierophant is Taurus earth sign energy. It's how we make major decisions in our life. It's our overarching belief system. For the people who are moving forward in kind of shadowy Cancer energy, they are not going to make a new beginning offer to a relationship or a marriage. They are letting go of a foundation and a relationship. Okay. Okay, tell us about the Page of Swords in reverse. Ooh, that's a lot less. The Page of Swords in reverse. So if they let go of maybe the relationship back here that they were juggling with, because they decided to get in another relationship, it looks like they took, I think we had Knight of Wands action kind of twice and returning to the past. And here we have them getting into a relationship with a soulmate, and they let go of maybe a marriage that was stable. They have decided to keep moving forward in shadowy Cancer energy, which can be about being emotionally manipulative. They're using their emotions. They're either being kind of emotionless, since we have the King of Swords, and they're just living from the mind. Or if they do get in a relationship, they're kind of taking action on it, maybe from emotions that are negatively inspired, like either could be a lot of things. It could be anger, revenge, manipulation, greed, selfishness, or just that I'm doing what's practical and logical, and I'm going to, I don't know, offer the emotions that are appropriate for the reason, create the illusion anyway. So here we have maybe unwilling to speak their truth about that it's kind of like a triangulated relationship that they got into, like a third party relationship, because maybe being in this King of Swords, wanting to win at all costs attitude, the Hangman can talk about someone being very prideful, arrogant, like, I'm going to win at all costs attitude again. Like, I'm going to get in this relationship just to to feel like they beat someone else. It's like, well, that's a lovely reason to get in a relationship, but they can do things just to try to prove a point because they come from their pride and ego. And with the bottom of the deck being the Empress card, I think in shadowy energy, this is kind of, if they're in shadowy Cancer energy and not doing things with love, then their Empress energy is in shadowy energy too. That when they want to give birth to things, they're giving birth to things from emotionally negative reasons. And it can be about wanting to be surrounded just by the luxuries of life. Okay. Let's go see what these people are. Why, first of all, just at the first one, they juggled and they were manipulative and deceptive because they were in a mental prison. Why are they in a mental prison? About maybe seeing the truth, about having equal give and take in relationships. The King of Swords can kind of be, since it's someone's Libra energy, is kind of, the King of Swords can be, I'm the boss, I'm the authority, I make the rules. And the Hierophant, for the reason for not using their resources to make an offer to a relationship that had a stable foundation. The Hierophant, being an earth sign energy, Taurus, can be very stubborn and very hard to budge or move. And needless, just any of us, our overarching belief system that's kind of been instilled over us, however, since childhood and television and culture and music, our philosophy and belief systems about life, those are very hard to change. Just as it would be very hard to make me change your belief system and make you think differently than you think, it's very hard to change our overarching belief system. So, this person could be in a mental prison about having equal give and take and balance in relationships and seeing the truth of that. Because if this person isn't, shadowy Cancer, they're not coming from loving home and family energy. They're coming more from selfishness and greed, and I'm the boss. So, having for some reason, well, why does equal give and take cause this person stress and anxiety? Why does it get this person up in a mental prison? Why would that cause someone to be in a mental prison? Because they maybe always thought their dreams would come into reality by being the emperor. And the emperor also is kind of a bossy energy. Like, I don't know, maybe they have a problem. I don't know why. Well, if you got in a relationship not based on love, that wasn't your main priority, maybe it was more about exchanging resources, like I'll give you this, you give me that. The Six of Pentacles is 3D tangible items. It's not Six of Cups. Six of Cups would be emotions going back and forth. So this person might be more of a transactional type of person in relationships, and they always thought their dreams could come into reality by being the boss and the one in charge, and they never thought that it would be like a co-partnership maybe. Okay. So, because they wanted to do that, they took action they could have taken creative action with someone who was in positive Sagittarius energy. So they took action towards a Sagittarius energy, creative action towards someone who maybe was patient and balanced. And the reason was the creative action they could have taken was kind of to be emotionally cold and forceful in order to get their dreams to come into reality the way they want it. And the way they want it is it's my way or the highway, because the thought of doing anything different and moving forward in my life and moving like into unknown territory causes me a lot of stress and anxiety. Let's go see why it causes them stress and anxiety. Okay, so why? Why does it cause them stress and anxiety? Because maybe the foundation by which they operate from, which is that Emperor, King of Swords, Taurus type energy, basically tells them that if it doesn't go our way, we are going to walk away emotionally. We will go from 8 cups to 5 cups, meaning we let go of a 3 of cups. So we let go of like working together with others emotionally. We will leave and there will be regret. So, if the person is kind of like, juggling, this person kind of might have these two different foundations within them where it's like, I am willing to like see my dreams come into reality with you, but they know themselves better than you do, and they know that they're not independent of this foundation. This foundation was 10 of Pentacles. That means I'm enmeshed within this foundation. If that is my perception of the world, my perception of how things should be, like, I don't know, if I'm the female of the house, I should be the one bossing everybody around and telling them what to do. If I'm the man in the relationship, I should be the one being bossy and telling everyone what to do. Whatever. They're not independent of whatever foundation that dictates their life. And that could be society, the way they view society. They could view that society says, I should be this way. Maybe their foundation that they grew up in, their mom or their dad or their caregiver told them this is the way it should be. And so that's the way they think it should be, and they're not independent of it. And so they can be like in relationships with people, but they also are still very attached to this foundation. And they know that that foundation, that's 10 of Pentacles, that's pretty grounded and stable. They know that it could cause them stress because they keep that aspect of themselves hidden, and so people don't know that they feel this way, that like if things don't go my way, if things aren't the way I want it, I will become forceful and controlling. I will be manipulative and deceptive, because for some reason it throws them up in their head, and they're not able to like work through it and break it down in order to get it balanced. It's kind of like it throws them out of balance. It throws them way up in their head. They're no longer able to keep balance between like their heart and their mind. There's someone who will flip up into their head, kind of detach from their emotions in their heart. Maybe emotions just confuse them. I don't know. But they know, and it causes them stress and anxiety, that it's like, you don't know this about me, but I know this about me. And if things, I don't know. No, they just need to feel, again, somebody who gets flipped up into their head easily and kind of gets triggered that way. They know they're kind of emotionally out of control within themselves, and that's what makes them want to control other people, because they emotionally feel out of control within themselves. So I would say those people went and got in another relationship out of pride and ego. For anybody who got in that relationship, they could have, you know, been trying to balance out their emotions about it. They thought that maybe that relationship, just like every time they repeat this pattern, they think that in this relationship their dreams can come into reality. They're still kind of stressed about what's hidden. And on top of it, they know that every time they repeat this pattern, they're hiding the fact that they previously walked away from a relationship and caused emotional regret to the foundation that they were building. So this person knows they continually always walk away from relationships. And until this person is willing to work through all these issues about themselves, why am I manipulative and deceptive? Why am I get caught up in a mental prison? Blah, blah. Um, until they're willing to decide, I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to take like the creative inspired action to finally offer love to myself. In order for any of us to deal with our issues, we kind of got to sit down with ourselves, and instead of beating ourselves up and beating ourselves over the head, because that's just going to keep us stuck again, we need to offer ourselves some willing to look at the past and offer ourselves some compassion and forgiveness, that we're a fallible human being. When we know better, we do better. And when we didn't know better, we didn't behave very well. And we've all been there, and we'll all be there again, probably. So until they make a decision to align within themselves, and they decide to quit offering their resources to this, like, I kind of look at the Four of Wands as being your own mindset or your own self, to quit offering, to quit keep giving a new beginning to this foundational way of being. They have to stop doing that. And they have to realize that, it's kind of like I need to grow. The only way we grow and mature and thrive is in the energy of love. It's kind of like we're perpetual children all our life, in the sense that we always need to be nurtured and loved and treated with compassion and forgiveness. And, that happens to us when we're children, but eventually in our life, we have to learn to take over responsibility for doing that so that we don't perpetually stay like this all our life, um, in how we act in the world. And we need to quit acting in the world like an immature person in our thinking, logic, and reasoning. And we need to give thought to learning how to work from an emotional foundation within ourselves so that we are willing to tap into our emotions, our creativity, and our intuition of our Pisces energy to become enlightened, to see things from a new perspective, be willing to see what it's like for other people to be in a relationship like this, and willing to see how our life could be different if we were, you know, not to be so much of the mind and fear and insecurity, and work through those things in an energy of some compassion and love for ourselves so that we can have happiness in our life. I mean, who wants to live a life being emotionally withdrawn, fearful, and insecure? And once we do that, or these people who are in shadowy energy, which is the same process all of us have had to go through. This is nothing new. Everybody has had to do this, work through these fears and insecurities to keep moving forward in their life, get a little bit more enlightened, see a little bit through the illusions of the fear and insecurity, to be able to move forward in our life, to grow and mature. And that would be then where the Page of Pentacle aspect of the self says, you know what, I am willing to kind of have that hopeful, believing nature to move forward in my life. And I'm willing to learn. And I'm willing to put in the work and effort to learn. The pentacles are about the 3D world, putting in the work and effort. And when they finally decide, you know what, I'm willing to do that, the Six of Pentacles is like having equal give and take within yourself. It's not like, no, we only give our resources to the mind and doing what's logical and practical. It's like, no, we're going to give some of our resources to listening to our heart and our emotions and what makes us happy. And we're going to use some of our resources to be creative and inspired and, be creative and be willing to, like in Sagittarius energy, of higher learning about different belief systems and perspectives of life. And, you know, kind of pass the resources around so that we can have a new emotional beginning where we tap into that Sagittarius energy of balancing out our emotions, our wants, our dreams, our fears, our passions with love and compassion and forgiveness and higher education so that we can listen to our intuition and our vision of our higher self of what we believe our life could be so that we can walk away from those old ways of being. So, we always hope that people will find the spiritual strength to be patient with themselves while they're feeling emotionally withdrawn. This person is sitting on like the 3D ground. The emotional realm is kind of coming up to touch their feet and, slowly moving into the emotional realm and the intuitive realm. If this is someone who used to be quite emotionally withdrawn and live from the mind, it's kind of intimidating if somebody, say, doesn't know how to swim and they have a whole ocean there. It's like, well, sit on the beach, take it slow, let the waves of emotion come up and realize that it's not so bad. It's not like you go run out there and go fall into the ocean of emotion. Take it slow. And it's a gradual process. We've all went through it. So there we go, Cancer. I kind of think, um, You know, you positive people have went through this already. You're already probably over here happy and moving forward, and you know, hoping that maybe some of these other people will decide to move forward with you, and hope that they quit repeating patterns, because we all hate to see people repeat patterns that are kind of, we know that they're self-defeating, but we know we used to be in those own self-defeating patterns, you know, when you weren't treating yourself in the most loving manner. So we wish them all peace, love, and joy, just like I wish you. So we will see you all next time, Cancer Energies. Bye bye.